Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome to another mobile edition of Wade Watches. I'm Wade, and just as a small heads up, I'm having some let's just call it technical difficulties with my usual setup. So me filming videos from my phone will be the norm for a bit, but what does it matter? As long as you guys get to see my pretty face, and as long as I get to talk about movies, that's all that matters. But just a heads up that this will be the format for a while until I can get things sorted out. But moving on from that, today I'm finally going to be getting out my review for the Iron Claw. I've been wanting to review this movie for the longest time, but you know, life is life. But I'm talking about it now, and I've been wanting to review it for the longest time because I ended up loving this movie much more than I ever could have imagined. As you guys know by now, I go into movies blind, but with the Iron Claw, I didn't really see a single trailer for it, a single advertisement for it at all, so I really didn't know what I was in for. I knew nothing about the Von Erich wrestling family, although I've been a huge WWE fan for most of my life. That was my childhood. Played the video games, watched Raw, watched SmackDown, had my roster of favorites, but I've never heard of these guys, and they are in the WWE Hall of Fame, so that's interesting that I've never heard of them. But thankfully, we have a great movie to teach us about them. And the thing with this, the best way to sum up the Iron Claw, at least for me, is that it's the raging bull of wrestling movies. And by that, I mean that while, yes, obviously, wrestling is heavily featured, and wrestling is pretty much this family's like religion. They're really devout wrestlers, and it's actually compared to religion in the movie, but there's a lot more, going on in the narrative that kind of takes precedence over just being a wrestling movie, if that makes sense. There's so much more than just, wrestling and, the journey of like trying to get a championship. And again, that's in there, but that's not the main focus of this movie. And the main themes of this movie, really, to me, just to be quick, there's definitely themes of sibling rivalry. There's themes of, expectations versus reality, themes of loss and grief, and even superstition, like, can superstition really be possible? Kind of like questioning like the will of the universe even. And I just wasn't expecting a movie about a wrestling dynasty to be this deep, and I'm glad it was. Powerful performances from everybody across the board. Standouts were definitely Zac Efron and Jeremy Allen White. Zac Efron is unrecognizable, not just physically in this movie, but just just like acting wise, he's unrecognizable. I love the relationship between the four brothers. You can tell that they really love each other, but because they're being driven by their father in this movie to be the best, be the greatest athlete wrestler of all time, there's some tension that begins to form, and eventually like tragedies strike up, and even then there's still like tension in the midst of tragedy, forgiveness. There's also forgiveness and some lighthearted stuff as well in this movie. It's not all just like drama and whatnot, but it's pretty it's for the most part more on the grim side than anything. And but you know what, walking out of this movie, I wasn't bawling my eyes out. I didn't feel depressed. Walking out of this movie, I actually felt cheered up. So there's some hope there. There's a thin ray of hope in there too. But let me stop running my mouth. I don't want to get into too much detail about what this movie is about. Go in blind, as I always encourage you to do, especially if you know nothing about the Von Erichs, like I didn't. But it's the Iron Claw is my favorite movie of 2023. I'll be posting the full list on my Instagram soon. Just don't have the time to do a video for it, so I'm just going to do a post. But the Iron Claw is at the top of the list, and because of that, obviously, it's a 10 out of 10 movie. Powerful family drama where wrestling is the backdrop. Powerful performances. I love the dynamic of this family. It's just one of those flawless movies for me. Really love it. So yep, that's it for this edition of Wade Watches, and I'll be back with more soon. Peace.